Hello and welcome to the End User Report. This is Clarence.
I'm Jamal.
In today's discussion, we're going to take a look at Windows Phone 7. Now, we know, Jamal, you're a big Windows guy.
You know it.
But let's just give a brief breakdown. This is the replacement to Windows Mobile 6.5. It is set to launch October 21st overseas and November 8th here in the U.S. Now, the big draw to this is the revamped user interface. And the big thing that you see them pushing when you do see advertisements is the home screen. It's actually centered around tiles, which are going to be links to things like applications, features, web pages, etc. It's also going to put some features into what they call hubs. So you're going to have like a photo hub, an email hub, and for instance, your photo hub might have all your photos that are actually on the device and actually mix those with your photo albums on Facebook. So it's going to have a mixture of local content and online content and make it easily accessible. Now this is a Microsoft OS, so naturally it's going to push their stuff. So you're going to find, your Internet Explorer mobile on there, Zune, and also there's going to be links to Xbox Live.
Which is, I think, is a great feature. If you're a Microsoft fan, and half the people in the world that I know use Microsoft Office, and it will work seamlessly with that. Exchange will work absolutely with no problems. So it's a win-win for in terms of that.
Yeah, as far as we know, there's a list of phones that it is going to be coming out with. I believe it's the Samsung Focus, the LG Quantum, the HD Surround and HD7, and also the Dell Venture Pro.
Focus will be with the AT&T, and that'll come with a $200 and a 2-year contract, obviously. The LG and the HTC will be on AT&T as well. T-Mobile is supposed to be getting an HTC branded phone later on in the after, but we'll see.
Well, based on what you know, what are your feelings on Windows Phone 7?
I think they're going to be the third player in the market right now. They have to. Microsoft understands that they need to get into this market if they're going to be a viable company in the future. You're looking at them right now. Windows 6.5 has 5% of the market, and then Symbian with 41%, and I can go down the list. Android, Vim at 18, Android at 17, and of course the iPhone at 14. So they have to get in the market. They'll be happy with just getting 10% of the market, and I think they're really willing to put that in because according to this banker in Deutsche Bank by the name of Jonathan Goldberg, he has confirmed that Microsoft has put up $400 million just in advertisement alone. And I've seen some of those ads. They're kind of catchy. I don't know.
Great, we're going to have another thing. Windows Phone 7 was my idea.
Well, no, it's not like that, but it's kind of like the whole concept of Windows Phone 7, I guess what they're trying to say is that they're taking the phone away from you. In other words, getting you back to getting back to your life. So you use the phone to look up recipes or to find the directions in the map, and then because the phone is so user like better. I don't know.
That seems contradictory, isn't the point of having an awesome smartphone to use the phone?
So these advertisers, you have these people who are they're sitting around with the phones bumping into walls, and then of course one guy drops his phone in the urinal and he picks it up and he keeps texting, and the guy next to him goes, "Really?" I know, it was really. After that commercial,
it's kind of messed up because that stuff does happen.
After that commercial, I just said to myself, "Really?" But I think it's really interesting because if you notice in the launches, AT&T is going to get a branded Windows mobile phone, and T-Mobile is going to get a branded Windows mobile phone, but Verizon's not going to get anything.
Yeah, I don't need it. Okay. Can I be honest with this thing? I feel like, looking at what I know of Windows Phone 7 so far, I think it's missing the mark. I mean, look at the competition. Let's look at the competition. Apple, Google, and RIM. And we've kind of gone through everything that Windows kind of has here. And I'm saying to Microsoft, give me a reason.
Well, I think
Give me a reason to use this phone. I don't see anything that Windows Phone 7 does that is going to make me go out and buy this phone. Okay, you can get to Xbox Live, great. I can play Zuma on the bus, wonderful.
here's the reason, and this is reason number one. It's going to hit the enterprise market because with Windows Phone 7, you can easily use Exchange without a problem. Exchange Mobile. Another thing is documents. It will easily integrate with Office without a problem. So right there, that's reason for the enterprise market. And really, in essence, maybe that's what Microsoft
That's
is
the
heading
enterprise
towards.
market. The thing that's making Apple so good over here isn't the enterprise market. It's all
Yeah.
these teenagers who want to keep up with their Twitter
Yeah,
accounts.
but RIM has 18% of the market.
RIM has
and
18% of the
they
market
are
based on-
enterprise-based phones.
Well, that's
so,
because the cell phone market is all
Right.
about contracts. People aren't
Okay.
going to re-up on. People are moving away from BlackBerry devices. We
well,
know
if you think,
this.
if you think of it like this, okay, a typical user, they'll have a phone, they'll have the choice whether they want iPhone or RIM or whatever. But with RIM, they have actual contracts with enterprises, and that's where they'll make money. And that's why they own, I hate to say, what did I say, 18% of the market. It's not because they have sexy phones, because we both talked about it. They don't have sexy phones. I think the biggest question is the apps. What kind of app, because here you have Apple that has thousands of apps, and Android also has thousands of apps. How are you going to entice the people who already make apps for iPhone and for Android all of a sudden to say, you know what, I'm also going to put my efforts into making Windows Phone 7 apps?
Well, that's what I mean.
So
They're
how
not really.
that's going to be
Windows Phone 7 doesn't
interesting.
seem to have anything that kind of makes it stand out from the pack. There's no wow factor. You know what I mean? In
Yeah.
addition, it's going to be released without cut and paste. Apparently, Microsoft hasn't been paying attention here.
Well,
this is one of the things that
they understand, and what they've said is that initially it's not going to be with cut and paste, but they are going to include it in the next update.
Well,
So,
they said in the
in the
future.
recent.
That's
well,
what they said in the future.
I
They
think-
were speaking of the next update when they were referring to Flash 10.1, which is another thing. It should just
Yeah.
come with by default. Look at the competition and look at the shortcomings. See, the name of the game is
Mm-hmm.
what does my competition do well and what do they do not well? Let's find what they don't do well, and let's do that.
Yeah,
It doesn't seem like they're doing that. Another issue, when it comes out, it's not supporting
this is-
tethering, and that's become a pretty popular feature. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you're in an area where that you want to use your laptop, but there's not really a lot of Wi-Fi around you, that tethering is a nice feature to have. I have a friend who just moved into a new house out in Jamesville.
Yeah.
They can't get their internet hooked up for a couple weeks, and they've been using their Evo as their internet connection because they have online classes that they need to get done.
I feel so bad for those people in Jamesville.
Okay. Coming from a man who lives on the
I
corner
mean,
of what?
for the
Two
cut and
streets?
paste, obviously they're gonna have that in there. They already said they're gonna put Flash in there.
What about SD card support? There's no reason why I should have to put a new SD card into a Windows Phone 7 phone and have it reset to factory defaults on me. One word for that: redonkulous. Okay, that's what it is. It's just
Well, again, you're looking at when you were talking about explaining the tiles and stuff. I mean, the best way to explain what Windows Phone 7 looks like is just pick up a Zune at your local Best Buy and look at the interface there, and you pretty much will see the interface of Windows Phone 7. It's just like Apple. It's just like Android. You buy into it. I mean, that's what you do. You choose who you want to go with, and you stick with it. I'm an Android guy right now. Down the road, I might be a Windows Phone 7 guy. Maybe down the road, I might be an Apple guy. Who knows?
yeah. I'd
it's
say
just-
you get a Windows Phone 7 when you get an Xbox, my friend. That's the
Yeah,
only feature that seems to kind of stand
Yeah,
out.
maybe
that I've seen.
that's why with the whole SD card has something to do with the Xbox.
But it's those kind of limitations that have driven people to the Android operating system, I think. I think there's a lot of people out there that are kind of upset with Apple and all its limitations. And then
Well-
you've got Google come along that's open source, and you're kind of like, well, we're all for it. And you see Windows Phone 7 come out, and it's going to follow those same kind of tight restrictions.
I think what's going to happen here is the popularity of any phone is going to be how hackable is it. iPhones are very hackable, Androids are very hackable, and if Windows Phone 7 becomes a very hackable phone, then you'll see it as
I don't
part
think
of the market.
I think I have to disagree with you on that one. And the proof is in with your iPhone users.
yeah.
At least 80% of those people aren't hacking their phone. Another issue, Windows Mobile Phone 7, backward compatibility. Reports
yeah.
are that nothing
No,
on 6.5 is going to
You're
work.
not going to be able. So
And-
all your apps that you have, sorry, bye bye.
And we know this is Microsoft. This is how they roll.
Yeah.
XP, Vista, yeah, just go to Vista. XP isn't there anymore. Just kind of, and then
So-
you get to Vista and you're kind of like, I miss XP. And you try to go backwards, and what happens there?
Yeah. So
We're going to move on to our next topic. That's mashup. This segment of the show, we just talk about some headlines that we've seen, give a quick opinion on it. So, Jamal, why don't you give us a start off here?
Right. A recent study says that teenagers, on average, send about 6 text messages for every hour they are awake. Ooh.
Don't you call people anymore?
I guess not.
Just for every hour that you're awake. That's
That's a lot of text messaging.
you know what I can't wait for? I can't wait for when there becomes some disease because these kids are texting so much their thumbs just start moving for no reason. Facebook and Bing joined forces to add social features to online searching.
Well, good try, Bing. That's all I'm going to say. You're not going to be any Google. Sorry. The British jeweler Stuart Hughes is selling a diamond-clad iPhone for $8 million.
Awesome. I hope it makes phone calls.
Hey, look at this awesome phone that doesn't make phone calls.
Yahoo stocks rise with the report that AOL wants to buy.
Yahoo, just don't let AOL buy you up. That's a bad idea. It is. It's like watching, that boyfriend, girlfriend, and you just say, oh man, like your homeboy, he's dating this girl, and all of a sudden says, man, I want to marry her. I'm like, I don't know.
You know what it almost reminds me of? Reminds me of when like Ames bought Hills and no one cared.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. No one's going to care. Apple is now the 3rd largest PC seller in the U.S.
Didn't we call this one? Apple's just
Yeah.
creeping up on you. You
Yeah.
think Bill
They-
Gates is sweating at night now?
Well, Bill doesn't care because, you know why? It's the OS market that he cares about. Apple.
yeah,
this is
th-
talking
th-
about
those are-
hardware, right?
Well, yeah, but still, what's on those Apple PCs?
Yeah, the OS 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Creeping up on you, Bill.
So if I was anything, I'd be like if I was Dell or
Well, Dell's
Toshiba,
number 2 and
yeah.
HP's number 3. Ahead of your Toshiba.
yeah. So that would be more concern for me.
That does about wrap it up for us here at the End User Report. Again, this is Clarence.
I'm Jamal.
And again, you can always follow us on Facebook, MySpace, and Twitter. And don't forget to comment and subscribe on YouTube.